Well, I just woke up after being asleep for 14 solid hours. And that's the second or third time this week that I'm pretty sure that I was drugged. With a drug probably a little bit that like Seroquel or something like that puts people out for 12 hours or longer. So, I mean, sure, I stayed up a little bit late. I stayed up until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but that's no reason for me to sleep in until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is past the time for that chick to have a home visit. And that's one of the times that nobody would be supposed to be around there. You know what I mean? And by home visit, I mean that someone with the Human Resources Department dealing with Child Protective Services is supposed to come out and help her do her classes or do her classes for her or whatever. And it seems to me that we were all basically drugged in a way, because he himself is still sleeping on the couch, seemingly incapable of I'm gonna have to pull this on the road because there's no sidewalk here. What do you know? And he himself, I believe, drugged himself so that he would be able to go to sleep too. The only difference that he didn't account for is that he never sleeps. And so even if he only meant to drug himself for 12 or 15 or 14 hours or whatever, that might not actually be the results that he gets. Under certain circumstances, it could take him, it could take him 2 days to wake up. It could take him 3 days to wake up. You never know. My phone is busted. The screen on my phone is busted. All my screens are always busted on my phones. And, but now whenever I try to hit the little pause button while I'm making videos, it doesn't always want to work. So, that's a little bit glitchy for me. So anyways, this specifically happened to me on Sunday. And I just began to go to church a couple weeks ago. And the first Sunday that I went to church that couple weeks ago, people were really upset about that. And they made sure that I was locked out that night during a snowstorm. So that was great. There's a big bunch of plastic right there. Hang on. So for this last Sunday, I'm pretty sure that I was drugged at this apartment I've been staying at. And they made sure that I slept for about 12 or 13 hours during that drugging or whatever. And also, like, the chick was like, oh, I think that he was in that room you were sleeping in for a second. And he came out and acted like he needed to take a shower or needed a towel or something like that. And I was just like, geez. I was like, well, I hope that he wasn't in that room while I was asleep like that. And then, and then this morning, someone walked in there while I was asleep, but I was asleep until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it wouldn't be any surprise if somebody actually did have to come in there while I was asleep, especially if I'm going to be in there all day. But the thing is that I don't sleep for 12 hours. I don't sleep for even 8 hours, okay? Like on the Natty, on the Reggie, I am lucky to get 8 hours of sleep. I actually have an issue with not being able to get enough sleep. And so some nights I might sleep for only 5 hours. Some nights I might sleep for 7 hours, but I'm almost never lucky enough to sleep 8 hours. I'm definitely never lucky enough to sleep 10 hours. And anyone who's going to make it seem like I could possibly physically rest for 12 solid hours at this point in my life, like, that's laughable to me. Yeah. Like, you would only be so lucky to just be able to sleep that long. It'd be absolutely impossible. So I know that he is putting something in. He's getting a hold of something I'm eating or drinking out of and is putting something in it. And last night my drink was out of my sight for just a second, but so here I am pulling my stuff after being drugged probably last night and probably more than once this week. Yeah, I definitely don't appreciate people working together to make sure that I don't go to church. That's super fucked up. I'm really glad to be getting out of there. Like, she was supposed to have a home visit, like I was saying, and I think that he deliberately fucked the house up and drugged us all. Because even she said, because I heard her on the phone this morning, and she was like, I'm sorry, I woke up and called this morning, and then for some reason I fell right back to sleep and stuff like that. And so, like, I'm pretty sure that they used to put me through the same kind of shit, where they would drug me sometimes, and it was to, like, completely fuck up my life and my plans and shit like that. And I know that I mentioned yesterday that it basically begins to get cold around here at 3:30 in the afternoon. It gets dark at like 4 or 5 or something now. And it could have easily been, part of anyone's plans to just try to make me sleep, lose a full day that I could have been, right now I'm trying to move my stuff out of that ghetto. So it seems like a ploy, to, make me lose a full day, because honestly, not waking up until 3 p.m., like, that's a pretty big deal. Like, I'm not a junkie like all these other people or whatever. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't live like a child or teenager, so it's quite unusual that I would not wake up until 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's what these little fucking crackheads don't realize, is that it's one thing for you to drug somebody who you're partying with, who does all the same dumb drugs and fucking alcohol and, staying up for days and days at a time. It's one thing for you to drug those kind of people who might actually get so fucked up and wear themselves out so badly that they would need to sleep for a day and a half or 3 days or whatever. But I'm not one of those people. Jesus. And these people can fucking go around me. I'm not really, like, this is not that fast pace of a road. Like, they'll be fine. And, and it was almost like it was set up for us to just look like complete party animals or whatever. Like, I don't know if the dude thought that he was just gonna, like, drug us all and make us all fall asleep and that this special home worker person was just gonna like show up and just see that we were all passed out in this trash ass house. And the fucked up thing is, like, she came back and she was like dramatically trying to clean her kitchen. Well, I would have cleaned her kitchen and would be cleaning and cooking in her kitchen, but she's letting a homeboy stay there, and I'm not living with a homeboy like that. Like, I'm not going to be around for that. I'm also not going to say, hey, I think that your kid's dad is a piece of shit and that you shouldn't let him live with you. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to get my stuff and go. And if she wants to hit me up again someday and say, hey, I could use your help, that shithead isn't here anymore, then I'll show up to help. But I'm pretty sure that she could just get a hold of these home health aide type women to come help her with everything that she needs, and she's not going to need somebody like me. But anyways, I could easily see how someone would hear like, oh, okay, on this day and at this time, we're supposed to have this special person here, and I can't be here when that happens, but maybe I could just drug everybody in the house to sleep in even well past that. Or, you know, maybe if I drug this, you know, maybe if he drugs his girlfriend hard enough, she will completely miss a drug testing thing. Like, here she is not using so that she can pass these drug tests, but what if he can make it to where she just misses the drug testing time frame altogether because he drugged her? And you know what I mean? What if she doesn't know any better? And that's the kind of fucking shit that we're dealing with as far as this child trafficking fucking situation goes, with these moms whose kids are taken by CPS. You know, so I just started going to church. That's a church that I, by all rights, could start going to every Sunday, but they made sure that I was drugged this Sunday, and I'm not sure what it is exactly that they're drugging me with that is making me sleep in that long, but whatever it is does make my face and tongue swell. I will say that. That is very noticeable. But yeah, right now I'm moving my stuff into... Sorry, I have people staring at me like retards. Moving my stuff into the woods a little bit. Where my tent was stolen yesterday, I just had to set something else up, like as a makeshift type thing. And yeah, but while it was still freshly frustrating and upsetting, I wanted to tell everybody about the whole drugging thing that I also have to deal with out here sometimes.